Hello everyone, I am Shelly Jain Kalantri, Administrative Officer at Kasturba Hospital, Sevagram. As this is an era where visibility is very crucial, talking about and showcasing our institute has never been so important. Today, I am joined by Dr. Poonam Shivkumar Verma, our esteemed medical superintendent, who is also the Director Professor of Obs and Gynae Department and a very proud alumnus of our institute. Ma'am, I welcome you.
Thank you, Shelly.
Today we'll be talking about MGIMS' rich legacy and the dynamic leaderships that has shaped our institute over the last 55 years. So ma'am, as you are the alumnus of this institute, could you please take us a bit into the past as you have seen the institute evolving through all these years? So talking about the past would be really nice. So could you please take us a bit into the past?
Yeah. So, Shelly, I joined the institute in 1982. When I came as an MBBS student here, and that time, while we were doing our MBBS, and we would be very happy to see certain personalities. To begin with, I will start with Dr. Sushila Nair, who is the founder president of this institution. We have seen her legacy. There was an aura whenever she would come. So she was the one actually who founded the institute, and with the vision that this institute is meant for community service, for the rural bias, and every student who will come out from here should understand what community is, what are their issues, and should work very closely with the community. So, to begin with, to understand, because this was a Gandhian institute, to understand Gandhian principles, 15 days posting was there in the ashram, and there were two reasons. One was that, we had cosmopolitan distribution of these students, so they would come together as batch. And the second was they will understand what are the Gandhian principles and how do we, bring those principles in our own life. So even though you are Chief Minister's son, my batchmate Noel Barbosa was the Chief Minister's son, but there was no difference as far as dealing was concerned with us or him. So that kind of culture and those very important values were inculcated in us. So this was about Dr. Sushila Nair. She used to come visit us, ensure that we all wear khadi, ensure that we go to the community. We were allotted village in which 4 families were ours, and being a public health person, she was very particular about it. She brought the institute to a very different level with lot of values, ensuring that the poor get the best of the healthcare. During her period, Mrs. Manibala Benji was the secretary, and she was also very particular as far as Gandhian principles are concerned. They have brought the institution, from that level to a very high level. And following her was Dr. Mrs. Desikan. Dr. Desikan was the lephrologist, and he's world-known figure. Then Mrs. Kamla Desikan Benji, we used to call them Benji. So she was the one also to, take care of the Kasturba Health Society. That time she was the secretary. And they have done a lot of work, to bring this institution to that level. Then after Behenji, Shri Dhirubhai Ji Mehta came, and he was the one person who was actually liked by everybody. We all have worked under him. Very pro-poor patients, very pro-poor people who come for any kind of help. So he was a very different person, and he has brought this institution to a very great level. So he was the one whom we respect. Very recently he is not with us, but he has given so much to the institution. Being a CA, he would also look into the financial aspects of the institution, get lot of donations for the institution. So that way institution further progressed to a very different level. And then at his time, secretary was Dr. Mrs. Naran for some time, and then now Dr. B.S. Garg. Dr. B.S. Garg continues to be secretary. they all have a vision that the institute has to come to a level which is much above the other medical colleges in terms of teaching, training, services, and community services, the village camps, and all that stuff. So these people have really been, these people have been so different from the general lot, and their vision has been completely different. I still remember Dhirubhai sir coming and staying here for days together, ensuring that he does everything good for the institution. Any problem, anything, he would be there. Very pro students also. He was strict, but at the same time, he was also polite in the sense that, somewhere emotional attachment was there with the students. So those kind of things were there. Now, presently, we have a president, Shri B.L. Tapadia sir. Sir has been a financial consultant for a while with the institution. He's being from Wardha, he's very much associated with the institution, and he's a very different person. You will find him a tough administrator, but at the same time he has a vision. Not only to bring up the hospital and services, but also to look into the aesthetic aspect of it. Now people want that you should have such infrastructure which is very comfortable, which is very lucrative for even the higher lot to come. So it's not that you only give services to the poor, which you have the values on, but also to bring a lot of people here, because you have the best equipments now, you have best consumables now, you have best lot of doctors who are giving their best treatment to the patient. So he has a very different vision, and we know that in his presence, and with Dr. B.S. being secretary, the dean being Dr. Shukla, we're going to really move ahead in our institutional values, in the level in which we should take the institution to, ensuring that every department does very well. So we are very hopeful for that. Then I would also at this moment like to talk that we had the legacy of such doctors who have done so much, and their knowledge, their practical experience. If I begin with Dr. O.P. Gupta, Dr. Narang, Dr. Mrs. Narang, Dr. Chabra, Dr. Jain, then that time Dr. B.C. Harinath sir was also there, Dr. Jaju, Dr. Kalantri. These people were stalwarts, they still, if you attend their clinics, if given me a chance, I would really go and attend their clinics, Dr. Mrs. Chaturvedi in pediatrics. So Dr. Raizada was there at our time in ENT. So there were such good people who have really given us so much. And in anesthesia department also, I still remember Dr. Shetty, Dr. Tikle was there. So there were many people who have really shaped us, and in spite of going to different part of world, we came back to Sevagram, because here we feel this is something ours as an LP. So these are the people, and then in coming future, now Dr. Shuchi is HOD of OPGY, Dr. Manish is in pediatrics, Dr. Jyoti Jain in medicine, Dr. Dilip Gupta still continues, and coming maybe Dr. Ramesh Pandey. Then you talk about Dr. Vijay Shri, and then in anesthesia also Dr. Suchita is there, Dr. Dheeraj is going to come, in ENT Dr. Deepika is coming. So several other departments, we feel that these people will be the ones who have seen all of us working, and they will be the one, they will take a lot from their seniors and ensure that they continue doing good work and bring this whole institute to a very high level, which is our expectation, and we trust that this is going to happen.
Ma'am, as you just said that MGIMS, this institute really feels like this is our own. So I would like to add that we deeply feel connected and associated with this institute. It feels like our own. and the kind of good work that the institute is doing for the community around, and for the patients around. This keeps us all keeping associated with this institute. So we want to give a lot back, and I really hope that this legacy of the institute that you just spoke about doesn't just continues but thrives. So, ma'am, with this, I would really like to thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Actually, MGIMS always says that we'll do services more, never project ourselves. But sometimes I feel that it's also important for all of us that we should, as alumni, project what the institute is and how good the institute is doing and how we have progressed till here. We have all a specialized department. And a very interesting thing is that Mr. P.L. Tapadia sir, who's the president now, he once, while he was giving his presidential talk, he told so much about the institution and how did it come and how did Benji fight and all that stuff. So it would be really great, if we can have in future his talk and Dr. Garg's talk and the Dean sir's talk, so that, we can let everybody know what has been the history and what is the future.
Right. People will like to be connected with us and feel like still a part of this. So, ma'am, thank you so much for your time, ma'am.
Thank you, Shelly. Thank you.